where you belong. Give you strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, Toon Review Army. How are you doing on this fine evening as we prepare for Newcastle United's second game in the summer series as they take on Chelsea? We will be live. We will have full commentary of the game right here on the Toon Review. We will be in full spirits as usual, even though it's practically the middle of the night. But we are going to bring you the best possible service that we can and the best commentary that we can. Alex is getting the beverages already. I may have a little bit of food and a kip before we go live, but we will be going live at 1 a.m., guys. I mean, it sounds absolutely bizarre saying that, but look, we're ready for it. We're excited for it. It's Newcastle United, for God's sake. You know, we have to be ready for it. But let us know in the chat, will you be staying up and joining us? That is the question, because we didn't expect anywhere near the amount of people the other night, 1,800 at one stage watching with us. Absolutely incredible. But it's kicking off an hour later. So, do we expect the same? Are we going to see people staying up for the game? If you're as crazy about Newcastle as we are, and I suggest, I think, and I kind of know that most of the Toon Review Army are definitely mad Newcastle fans, and it doesn't matter what time of the day it would kick off, we'd still all be there. You looking forward to the game, Alex?
Massively. I'm so excited for this one. Purely from a footballing perspective, not just as a fan of NUFC, but just as a football fan. Obviously, Chelsea have got some really interesting players that we were linked with. Andre Santos, Angelo Gabriel, both have had minutes in the last two friendlies for them. So it's going to be really weird potentially seeing them coming on the pitch for Chelsea versus us. To be really, really interesting. They've got a few new signings, and Nkunku, obviously amazing from Leipzig. Jackson's in there. So it'll be really curious to see the Chelsea squad. Plus us, we've had a few games now. We've ironed out a few things, tried a little formation, done some tinkering. We might see a strong side tonight as well. So it's going to be really interesting from both sides. I'm really excited. It's going to be a good game, hopefully.
Billy, I read a report earlier today that Chelsea may have 8 first-teamers unavailable through injury, but that doesn't account for the other 45 that they have.
No, of course not. They've got a massive squad. They'll all be trying to get into that final 25. And they've got, 45 to 50 players that could potentially be in that squad. So they'll be trying. But I just fancy us tonight. I don't know why. I just really fancy us. I think we're going to go out and play much better defensively, hopefully. Hopefully we might see Shaw and Botman together tonight and put on a good performance all over the pitch, to be fair.
Absolutely. Good evening, Peter. Hope you're well, buddy. Randall says, good evening all from an ice-cold Cape Town. Ice cold? Wow. By the way, as well, the Amazon Prime show is starting on August the 11th, and I think everybody's seen the trailer for it. And it was a brilliant trailer, wasn't it? It was really, really well done. With obviously, Keith Downey announcing the takeover, the fans celebrating, little clips from the chairman saying we want to be number one. And what biggest surprise, I think, has kind of took a lot of fans by surprise, actually, guys, is the little clips we've seen of Eddie Howe in the dressing room before the Man United game. Swearing a little bit, but that's what we want to see, isn't it? Just what goes on behind the scenes in that dressing room. And he really wanted to beat Man United that day, Alex.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
I mean, to be fair, I've been saying this, and you guys have been saying this for a lot of people have questioned Eddie Howe about how he handles interviews and the media and how passive he is and unwilling to be baited into an argument or criticism or criticizing anyone. He's very, very calm and meticulous with how he answers questions. He always takes 3 or 4 seconds to answer. He's very careful. He thinks, but obviously you can't do that with, if you've got 20 lads sat in that dressing room at half time, you can't just go, all right, well, maybe we need to dust ourselves down and have a better second half. You have to motivate them. You have to try and capture the imagination. You have to, hit home whether they've not been good enough, where their failings are, where their strengths are. Try and give them belief that they can win the game, give them instructions. And, obviously we know that he's not going to go in at half time and be really passive with meetings, with halftime team talks and pre-match team talks. Obviously not. You can't be passive and get this kind of, I think the only person that's ever been able to do that to a point is Ferguson, who there are sort of stories about how he would just come in, and because he was terrifying in his aura, he would just tell people, just do it. You know who this is, win the game. But not everybody can do that. That's a specific situation. But Eddie Howe, it's nice to see a little bit of bite in some of the team talks, and you need him. You've got to get the lads fired up. You've got to give them that belief. So yeah, I'm so excited to see more of that.
Yeah. Billy, were you quite surprised or not with what you saw from Eddie? Because I think obviously look, everybody's really excited about this documentary coming out. It's going to be fabulous to see what goes on behind the scenes. But we kind of, when Eddie first came to the club, if you can remember, the Bournemouth fans came on our show and were telling us that, Eddie is lovely, polite man, but when he has to lose it, he loses it. But he always keeps it behind the scenes in the dressing room, and that's obviously where it should be. He won't throw any of his players under the bus like a certain Mr. Bruce did previous. He won't do anything like that. But when you see him in the dressing, even them little clips, it gives you a little insight into he's just so determined to win football matches.
He's the perfect manager, as far as I can see. He's the most media-friendly manager you're ever going to see. Alex alluded to Alex Ferguson there. He lost his temper with the media on countless occasions. Klopp has, they all, even Guardiola has. Eddie Howe's just the perfect media representative. He just says the right things, says them in the right way. But you can tell by the way the team plays that he's not like that in the dressing room. They're up and at it from minute 1 to minute 90, and the inspiration he obviously brings them players is palpable. You see it after half time. You see it at the beginning of the games. We never used to see that. We've not seen it for years. Not since Bob Robson was in charge. I'm going to say, the players have obviously been motivated that much that they're just keen for it from minute 1.
What I did notice as well, guys, is just how focused the players were on what Eddie was saying. It gave you a little. I think it showed a couple of players, including Elliot Anderson, how focused they were on Eddie. They weren't, fidgeting around or doing anything. They were fully focused on what the manager was saying, and I thought that was absolutely fabulous. By the way,
yeah, 100%. He's perfect. Perfect man for the job.
Zishan, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. He says, I'm so jealous watching all the content from other YouTubers. Paul, if you're jealous, then good. Serves you right for not standing up to your good lady.
I think he's talking America.
I mean, he did.
No, I know what he means.
And he fell up the stairs.
I was badly injured. Not by her, I have to say. Otherwise, I'll be getting bollocked. Look, it was never going to be. I've got children and everything to think about, and summer holidays. It just wouldn't have been practical for me to go. Look,
I've got to just say as well. Sorry, Susan. I'm not going to keep joking about domestic abuse with you. That's unfair.
Yeah, because when you say I fell up the stairs, people will be thinking, "Oh, well, how do you do that?" I simply tripped over a gonk. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Look, I've watched the other YouTubers. I've watched Adam and I've watched Lee out there, and I think it's fabulous. They're having the time of their lives, and so they should. But Lee, as he said on our show a few weeks ago, he's separated from his partner now. He's obviously single, so he's been able to go there, take time off work and go there. Adam hasn't got any commitments. It's just brilliant to see. And look, I'm not jealous because I still get to watch Newcastle United anyway, you know, and I still get to do what I love and commentate on the game with my two best mates. So I'm not totally like, oh my God, I'm not in America. You know, people are still enjoying certainly what we're bringing them while the guys are in America. So, you know, would it be something I'd love to do? Of course, who wouldn't? But the fact is, it's not practical for me to go.
It is worth pointing out for people, by the way. Sorry, just to say, because I've seen a few of this today. No, I'm sure none of the TTR viewers are like this. I know you're all a very intelligent bunch. However, there's been a few people saying, if you set your VPN to Atlanta, can you watch it at 8:15? No, that's not how time works.
I've seen that.
We have to wait until 1:15.
Yeah,
we can't.
Somebody actually asked that the other day for the game in Philly. Somebody said, "Oh, you know, can we watch the game if we VPN? Can we watch it at 7?"
I nearly fell off my chair.
And I was like,
I was going to have a bet.
I was reading.
Shit.
Well, I was like, Jesus, is this really happening right now? And I'm thinking, surely that's a wind up. And then I've seen it again with the Atlanta game from more than one person. So you kind of think, Jesus. But, you know, never mind. St. Louis Geordie, thank you for your $10 super chat. Even though it should be a sellout tonight, I heard they brought in natural grass and they can close the stadium for the heat. Hopefully a few sideline interviews during the game to trigger Alex. Yeah. Look, I've heard that there's going to be 80,000 in there tonight, that it's a sellout. So that can only benefit. And again, this will what made me think that the guys will take the game seriously because of the amount of support that's in there. They're not just going to go on and walk around the pitch kicking a ball like the usual friendly. There'll be a bit of spice to it. And that's why we're looking forward to the game. Yeah, I'll be watching it and listening to your commentary. Thank you very much. Geordie Lad says, somehow all the games have had more than 3 goals. Yeah, they have. But you tend to get that in friendlies, plenty goals.
Well, the Chelsea game as well. The last game against Brighton was 4-3. It was quite an action-packed game. So,
now what I do want to discuss, guys, we've got a new member as well. Dean 3 Tons. Thank you very much, Dean, and welcome to the Toon Review family. Thank you for your membership, my man. The membership scheme. Now, it kicked off today, and at one point there was over 267,000 people in the queue.
It got up to 300, I think.
Yeah, I think it did. I went to cut the grass after that. I thought, nah. But I did queue up earlier on in the day to renew Phoebe's membership, and luckily I managed to do it. But there's been all sorts of problems again with people actually. I mean, I think it was 2 hours and 16 minutes, I think it took me in the queue. Obviously, I didn't sit in front of the computer for that long. I had other things to do, but people were getting right to the front and then getting directed back to the website. They were getting error messages. They were getting thrown out and back to the back of the queue. And of course, there's all the rigmarole about the membership scheme in general this season. What have you made of it, Billy? What do you made of what Newcastle have come out with for the membership scheme? Do you think it's right, or do you think there's something else needs doing with this?
I've said it all along. I think season ticket holders that pledged money to the club month upon month through the seasons, they should be getting 2 tickets. I think. Well, 1 ticket for them, but if they want a second ticket, I think they should get that out of a member. I'm perfectly honest. A member's paying 37 quid for the year.
Yeah,
I understand that demand is way outstrips supply, and also that's the same with the website. I think that they just aren't capable of dealing with that many people inquiring at one time. There's got to be a lot of kind of refurbishment within the structure of the club, I think, administration-wise. That's got to happen. They've got to invest in that. And, of course, then you've got to invest in the stadium too, and then you can get more people in. It's just hard work. It's just kind of remnants of what happened before with the previous owner. We're not over that. And it's going to be 2 or 3 years, maybe longer, till we are clear of it.
Well, look, I mean, I got in when I got in, and I went to obviously renew Phoebe's ticket membership. Sorry, and then the checkout box wouldn't light up, and I didn't understand, and I thought, oh God, don't say, Phoebe's got to create an account for herself, and I've got to go all the way back and create and start again. It threw me out. But I managed to refresh the screen and got back in again. It just came up with the checkout box again, lit up this time. So I thought, God, this is going crazy. So I've checked out. I made the payment, but then even though I've got a confirmation from Newcastle that the payment went through, I'm kind of thinking I was thrown out and back in. Has it registered? Has it not registered? All of this kind of thing comes into your head. And then you read all the nightmares that people have had today. I mean, Alex, the club should know that there's going to be a high demand. I mean, 300,000 in the queue, I don't think, it just proves how massive Newcastle United has become. I mean, this is international as well. Remember, it's not just from the UK. We've seen loads of people overseas getting memberships. But is there any way different that could do it? Because it's certainly a question you have to put out there, isn't it?
But I think they just should have addressed it. Because obviously there's going to be issues. The supply heavily outweighs the demand, as you've said. However, there's no reason that the club can't make a statement, or one of the owners, and just say, look, to do with the box office, to do with tickets and the stadium and this, we're trialing new things. We're learning. Give us time. Let us implement these things. Just issue a statement and say that these things are being addressed and we're going to work on them. Put people's minds at rest. Try your best. And then, there was a lot of issues with people ringing the box office and ringing customer support lines to try and get clarification on certain things, and people didn't know, and employees didn't know what was going on. Of course, they were trying very hard, but there should have been plans put in place. Tell your managers and provide some extra staff to answer the phones. Be prepared. Make sure that you can. There just should have been a little bit more preparation, I think, because I know it's difficult to predict it, but I mean, to be fair, Ben, I know a lot of Ben stuff's controversial on Twitter, but Ben predicted yesterday he reckoned about 300,000. There would be about 300,000 people in the queue, and there was 300,000 people in the queue today, so he wasn't wrong. And if fans can predict it, there's no reason the club can't predict that. But they will know. They want the best for the club. They want the best for us. They want to be successful. They want it all to be smooth. They don't want complaints. They want it to all work properly. They want the same thing that we want. So, and that's, with the previous owner, we didn't have that guarantee. We know that what he wanted. Whereas we know our owners want everything to work well. That's why they're investing in things like a fan zone, and they've bought land back, and they're really trying, but they can't fix everything all at once. It is going to take time.
Yeah, absolutely. Alexander Allard, thank you for your $9.99. He says, you guys have been a godsend with my recovery. Happy to say my son is a Newcastle fan, so I'm trying to chant. Still waiting on a reply to challenge Alex on a stat match. The US Alex versus the UK Alex. Wow. Okay. We will bear that in mind. Not sure if you know, but Stu Flyboy Ray sadly passed away. Yeah, we dedicate the show to him. Thanks for that. Mawson, thank you for your 50 Saudi Arabian Real super sticker. No comment there, but thank you for your continued support of the channel, Mawson. It is most welcome. Alexander again says, good afternoon from Houston. I see Eddie Howe as a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He is tough when he needs to be. Yes, exactly. And people don't get to see that side of Eddie a lot, but in the dressing room is very, very different. RG Fox says, doesn't Eddie have a space to take players aside to speak about performance and opposition to play? Yeah, of course he will. Jason says, do you think we'll get serious for this game or play around with tactics and use fringe players? No, I think it'll be serious. I think, to be honest, the Villa game was quite serious. I mean, you saw both managers getting very, very stressed and pissed off with some of the stuff they saw. I mean, Eddie was fuming at the first drinks break. You saw that. And, the players luckily responded to that and bounced back. But Jesus.
Eddie is very clever. Very clever. They can see these things tactically going wrong on the pitch as they happen. The players aren't necessarily as tactically experienced as Eddie Howe is. He does this all day, as we're aware. So, managers get frustrated. He if he's explained to a player, when this happens, you need to move here or watch him or mark him. And if he sees a player not doing it, he's pulling his hair out thinking, well, I've explained it to you. Why are you not doing it? But players take time, don't they?
I think also what you said there was right. It's very rare for him to lose his temper. I think that's when he does do it, it's more effective.
Yeah.
The reason why he hasn't lost his temper is because you've been so fucking brilliant for the last fucking 18 months.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a shock to the players' systems and they respond to him because he's not always shouting and raging and ranting on. There's the quote there. Tom's put it on the screen. Eddie in the dressing room said, they want a quick game. Come in here. Let's fucking give it to them.
Yes.
It's a beautiful line. I mean, it does. It gets you going, doesn't it? Just hearing those words. And it's just absolutely brilliant. So, yeah. But look, going back to the memberships, Billy, you mentioned that season ticket holders, they should be able to get an additional ticket. It pisses me off quite honestly that I can't get. Yeah, Phoebe wants to go and I can't, because she'll go into a ballot for a membership. But what happens with that? Because if she gets a ticket,
could be anywhere.
She's going to be put anywhere in the ground.
Yeah,
and I can't sit with her, so I'm not going to let my daughter sit in the ground all on her own, knowing how she suffers from anxiety and stuff. She can't go, so it's really frustrating. And I think a lot of people have. Not backlash, but they're very upset about the fact that they can't choose the seats. They're just going to be put anywhere in the ground.
This wouldn't have happened if it weren't for the cup final. The rigmarole with the tickets there. I'm pretty sure they'd have carried on as it was. I think the rigmarole with the tickets for the Carabao Cup final has been the catalyst to all this. And I think they've done a bit arse about face money. So I think season ticket holders, because the fact they do pay a lot of money up every year for a ticket rather than 37 quid, I think they should be entitled to an additional ticket if they need one. I mean, they're not going to need one every game, are they? Otherwise, you might as well buy 2 season tickets.
Yeah.
But I think for the odd occasion they want one, I think they should be able to have one. I do honestly.
I Like Coffee says, imagine if Francisco got to do the voice narration for Newcastle United's Amazon documentary. I think it's Alan Shearer, isn't it? I'm sure I've seen the comment from Shearer saying
he enjoyed doing the voiceover stuff. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. David says, evening lads, looking forward to another late night, early morning. So grateful for your dedication to stay up and share tonight's game. Winning, exciting times. Thanks, David. Much appreciated. I mean, what do you make there about Billy's comment there, Alex? About the fact that fans are just going to be put anywhere. They're not going to have a choice if they get a ticket. Is it fair?
I guess it depends on the situation. Like yourself with children, if you want to bring a child along, you need to be seated together. There needs to be, there needed to be a bit more forethought into this, and there's additional context. It's not just sell tickets, go anywhere. I don't want to criticize the owners because I think they get 9 out of 10 decisions right.
All right, look,
if not more than
criticizing Alex. I'm just having this is just a general conversation about getting our opinion about it. We're not criticizing. However, what I must say, Alex, is that we're not criticizing the owners here because we know the shit show that they've had to take over and things take a lot of time. And all they're doing is trying to accommodate all the fans at the minute because the ground is simply not big enough. So we know the problems that they face. And these are clever, clever people, and they will sort it in time. We have to give them time.
It's tough, isn't it? They've had 3/4 demand for tickets. Well, they haven't, but 18 months ago, we had 3/4 demand for tickets. And now it's 3 times the amount of stadium capacity demand for tickets. Absolutely. I don't see how you deal with it so quickly. I don't really see a solution until the ground's built up, if I'm honest.
However, this is something we've all been discussing since May. I don't think it went well today. I don't think that in the last 24 hours, I understand that there's just not enough seats. I get that. But there was a lot of people there's a lot of people still very confused. Can I take this person? Can I get this? But what about if this and that? People don't understand the rules.
Well, Julie's confused here. I mean, she's asking one question. Is the membership 37 a month or 37 a season? It's a season, by the way, Julie. But, that's kind of the thing that
I'm sure there are things in terms and conditions written on the website. I have seen people reposting bits from the website. However, I don't think there's enough clarity on it. And I think a lot of people were calling support lines in the box office today to get clarity on different things. And, a lot of the staff there apparently tried their best to answer the questions. They must have had a horrible day at work today. And, the owners possibly could have prepared everybody better for today, I think. But obviously they're fighting a losing battle. I think regardless of what they would have done, it would have probably been, we would have been having the same conversation. I think, what could they have done? Best case scenario, there still would have been thousands of people upset with how it was run. So they were never going to get a win out of today with the current situation. It's just, could it have been better? Possibly, yes.
Well, Keith says he tried to get an international membership earlier, but the site kept erroring out. Then the phone wait was like 50 plus people in front of me.
Hire more support workers on the phones.
Yeah,
get some more developers in. Get some more people running the website and the system.
Yeah,
it is integral. You don't want hardworking people getting error messages who have been sat for hours waiting to buy things on the website. It is bad.
Julie's given up. She's going to do it again shortly. I mean, look, there's no time limit on it. You can sign up, but it's just everybody wanted to get it secure. Barry got to the front, got kicked off, but he finally managed to get one. People commenting about VPNs, saying that they didn't realize that VPNs come with time machines. Some people actually believe that. Would you? I mean, incredibly, it's mental. Cockeyed Cyclops says, I'm being told Sinead O'Connor has passed away.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah,
really?
So, yeah. 56.
Wow. 56.
You have to hear that horrendous song over and over again, aren't we?
Well, yes.
I know.
She's always had a bit of problem in her life, hasn't she, Sinead O'Connor?
Yes.
I remember watching an interview a couple of years ago. She got quite emotional. But even, Chris Bart Williams passing away yesterday, 54 years old.
What a day for Wednesday and Forest that was. Williams.
Exactly,
Williams, France on the same day.
Two real legends at the club. Because Bart Williams was a decent player.
Very good player.
I mean, it's incredible. Just the age that these people are leaving us. It's awful. It's just not right.
He came into it really young, 16. I think he started at Charlton.
Yeah.
He went to Sheffield Wednesday from there. He was outstanding for them. I think Big Ron Atkinson signed him. Really good footballer, really underrated actually.
Yeah, he was.
Then went on to Forest and did well for them. He was a really, really good player.
He made the England squad a few times, Bart Williams, didn't he? I'm sure he did.
Maybe one or two times, not very often. No,
yeah, not very often, no. But yeah,
very underrated.
Absolutely. Condolences to the family. I mean, sorry, Bart Williams was only 49. God.
To be fair, Ian A's just said something as well that is quite a good point, actually. So he said the club have got to win circa £11 million for no product. That's great for the revenue stream. I mean, that's technically true. It's still not right because we don't want to be not fleecing, wrong word, but we don't want to be maybe not setting things up correctly in terms of memberships and tickets to get money. That's not the right way to earn money, unfortunately, for revenue.
However, I'm not sure £37 a year for maybe a chance for a ticket every now and again. To me,
I mean, what do you get? You get a digital ticket. For money. Yeah, it's interesting, but you talk about tickets, guys. Some people have had the digital season tickets. Some people haven't. I haven't had mine. I haven't had the Seller Cup tickets yet. So people are beginning to panic because time is getting on closer to the season, and we're not sure how these digital things are going to work. It's very. There's a lot of haze about this. There really is, and it hasn't really been made clear. But hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, it will. Once the start,
it wouldn't be difficult. Get Shay Given or someone to record a 1-minute video. This is how the digital ticketing is going to work. Here's my phone. Click that, do that, boom. This is how it's going to work for the whole season. You can do that. Everybody would watch it. Everybody would love it. Put it on the YouTube channel. Put it on Twitter. It's not that complicated. I understand maybe it's not finished yet, but it's something that, it's definitely doable. There's no reason why we can't do that. And everybody would then fully understand how things work.
And a lot of people were saying as well that they got an email off the club telling them to, and a link to renew memberships. I didn't get that. Neither did Phoebe, to be honest. So
there was a lot of mixed bags. A lot of people saying, "Oh, well, just click the link you got in your email," but then the other half weren't getting this email. So
didn't have an email. James wants to know if we're worried about our owners becoming less interested in Newcastle and focus more on the Saudi League in the near future. Not in the slightest, is the answer to that. If you believe the impossible, says Alan, the incredible can come true. And now our dreams are coming, looking for us. Very good quote. Very good quote.
Profound.
Indeed. Right. Rod B, thank you for your 199 super chat as well, mate. There's no comment there, but thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. Just one little bit of transfer news. It's not really news, to be honest. is that Tino Livramento has apparently come out and said that he wants to move to Newcastle. Now, whether this hurries along the transfer or not, the actual player stating he wants to join the club. Do you think it makes a big difference, Alex?
It can do, depending on the club, the situation, and not necessarily in this situation. It might not make a difference. Have we had any recent dealings with Southampton? Are we friendly with them? I can't recall any recent transfer dealings with them, or again, it depends who his agent is. I think we looked at that a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I mean, I think the most important thing is him saying that he wants to leave, not that necessarily he wants to go to said club. I think that's probably going to have more impact on what happens. Is him informing the club, look, I want to leave if a good enough offer goes for me. This is my preferred destination. That's probably more impactful.
Keith Deitz, thank you for gifting yet another 5 memberships. That is incredibly generous, Keith. Thank you so much. And the people that have received those memberships are Jason Midlands Mag, Andrew, Roadrunner 29, New Jersey Geordie, and would you believe Stu Flyboy Ray? How amazing is that? I mean, wow. And I think that's kind of lovely, that, because he's become a member for a month after he's just passed away. I think that's actually, I mean, life throws very strange things at you, doesn't it? It's incredible, that. Absolutely incredible. But thank you very much, Keith. Really appreciate your generosity yet again. We've also had a $4.99 super chat from Chris Murray, my old ice hockey buddy from Whitley Bay, who now lives in the States and was at the game at Philly. I got loads of photos and videos off him about watching the tailgate and stuff like that. And obviously, Adam P's attempted an upside down barrel. I've never seen that
Not very
in my
well.
life.
It was more of a horizontal barrel.
A horizontal,
good job there.
It was bizarre to say the least.
And I saw that, and I thought I'd love to try that. And I thought, who would be the poor bastard having to lift me up to it?
You'd expect, what's that?
I'd have been there 10 minutes.
Well, I tell you what, they could do a World's Strongest Man, one of the competitions.
I was literally thinking the same thing, but I thought that's too rude to say. I'm not going to say it, and you said it anyway.
I saw Eddie Hall on TikTok yesterday run over somebody's BMW in a tank. It was the most bizarre thing I'd ever seen. But never mind, we digress. Anyway, Billy, just before we go into the Chelsea game, obviously your feelings on Livramento. Is this the kind of kick up the arse that this deal kind of needed?
I'm just looking at Southampton in general. They're playing hardball with everyone that people are trying to buy off them. They're playing hardball with West Ham for Ward-Prowse. They're playing hardball with Liverpool for Lavian. I think they're playing hardball with us. I think they're giving out prices that they don't want to sell at. I think they're trying to keep hold of the squad, which is perfectly, you got to commend them for that. However, I can't see it happening. If players want to leave the club, you can't really have bad apples in the dressing room. So I think the Livramento one might happen. Depends on the price, I guess. But that's football all over, isn't it? It's transfer bargaining. If we can get Livramento for 30 million or less, I'd do it. Certainly not 40.
The thing is, though, can I just mention Southampton?
Yeah.
I don't think their squad is that bad. I think they were just mismanaged. They lost all their momentum. I think they've got a really good squad, in my opinion. It's not a bad squad. I think they could legitimately sell £100 million worth of players and still top the championship next season. I think there is a legitimate possibility they could do that. And then all of a sudden, the health of the club is through the roof. They'd get reasonable money. Obviously, you don't get massive money unless you win the playoff final because of the broadcasting revenue. However, winning the championship, it's a good long season for everybody. You can use a big squad. Additionally, they can get a ton of money in. They're still going to get parachute payments as well. If they approach this right and get a decent manager in, I'm not even sure who they've brought in. I haven't checked Southampton, to be honest. If they go about this the right way, they could be absolutely fine. They could be, this could be a blessing in disguise for them in 3 years' time if they're suddenly back in the Premier League with really healthy financial books, with a good young squad. Just depends how they approach it. So,
Kenzie says, is 1:15 too late for you to do a watch along?
no, we're doing
Clearly
it.
not. We're doing it. We want it.
It's Newcastle United, Kenzie. No, it's not too. It's not too late.
I do wonder if it was 4 a.m. to be honest.
We would, yeah. We try and bring you the best coverage, and listen, doesn't matter if it's through the middle of the night. We are here, and we're all looking forward to it. Arturo, thank you for a €5 super chat. He says, I'm feeling very sick. In case something with Alex, I want to say, Alex, you are ... and Gordon gets millions for passing the ball to the goalkeeper. I have no idea what Arturo's talking about, but thank you.
He's also just posted a comment saying, I ate a yogurt in 2 days.
I've just seen that on the live feed. Yeah, Arturo, Matt Egan says it said on the website that in the ballot you can link accounts together. Assume this is so you could sit together. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens when they eventually do it. We'll get a much better understanding of it, hopefully. Right. We'll just briefly touch on the game tonight before we end the show. Just a quick show tonight, and then we go for our rest before the big one later on. Chelsea, Billy, I think it's gonna be tread seriously. Pochettino, from his point of view, will have to treat these friendlies very, very seriously because of what happened with Chelsea last season. He's got to start right, and he's got to start well.
Yeah, he's got to hit the ground running. Absolutely no doubt about it. The pressure on him, if he doesn't, will be immense. There's already a lot of pressure on him anyway to kind of get Chelsea back into where they think they belong, the top 4, and potentially challenging for honours. It's going to be hard for them because as the management of the club last year kind of failed horrifically, really, with the recruitment, excessive recruitment, I'd say. Too many cooks spoil the broth. There's too many of them in that squad trying to get into a side. You know, a squad of 25 is there for a reason. They've got another 20 odd on top of that, plus about 20 odd on loan. You know, good players as well. So I think Pochettino's got a lot of work to do this summer just to pick his squad alone. That's going to be a massive headache for him. And they're still buying also, which. Yeah, I kind of think I'm not sure they can do that in one season. I think it might take them a season or two to get back to where they were. But they'll spend the money to get there eventually. And Pochettino's the right man for the job, I think.
Now, Alex, from Newcastle's point of view, obviously we know how they started against Villa the other day. It was a pretty dreadful first 20 minutes where we were just ripped apart. He was trying a different formation, maybe. Do you think he goes back to his tried and trusted tonight? Middle of the park's going to be very interesting to see what he does.
Potentially. I think middle of the park's a little bit more straightforward. I think the biggest question is, I think it's likely he'll play 2 out of the 3 big hitters in a 3-man midfield. I'd be shocked if he uses his funny formation. I kind of expect him to go back to a 4-3-3 for this game. I wouldn't want to, unless he wants to try the funny formation, but with different players, such as Botman back in the lineup instead of Dummett in the back 3. It might work better. I'm sure it will work better. I think the tricky one is, are we going to play the formation is the biggest one, because Chelsea have got some dangerous wide players. As much as people mock them on their day, players like Mudryk and Sterling are really, really dangerous if you give them space. Like, there's no joke. They're not bad footballers at all. Just because you have a bad season does not mean you're a bad footballer. So we've got to respect them. They've got so much depth. And in a friendly fixture, they can obviously take far more advantage of that because they can make a lot more substitutions.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we'll see Bruno and Tonali, and then whoever else is going to be in the midfield. I think it's a coin toss, because it could be Joe Linton, it could be Willock might feature tonight. I don't know if he's fit enough to play.
Yeah.
Then again, so who have I said? So Joe Linton, Longstaff, Willock. I don't know. I think Tonali and Bruno start, and then the rest is kind of a coin toss. No idea.
Do you expect, Billy, that he'll go with again Isak or Wilson first half and then the other one second?
Yeah, I think he'll probably get. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which way around he'll do it, but they'll both get a half each, I'm sure. I think he'll probably start with Isak. If I'm perfectly honest. I think you might see Barnes start today.
Yeah, I was going to say, Barnes and Gordon. Do you think they'll actually start the game tonight?
he might play Gordon on the right. If he plays on the right, he'll start. But otherwise, I'm not so sure. Yeah, I think he'll play Miggy. I think he'll start Miggy. His old stadium, especially, back in his old home stadium. So I think Miggy will start.
Yeah.
And probably Barney to the side. So I think Gordon may have to come on as a sub. Unless he starts him as a centre forward, of course, which is possible.
Of course, the goalkeeper we don't know about yet. Nick Pope is not featured at all. We know that he's been in training in America, but obviously he's still recovering. But I think Alex Eddie will want to get him in between the sticks sooner rather than later to get some fitness. Match practice.
How is his training going? Is he doing goalkeeper training, or is he just
We
doing
don't know.
training?
All the report said was that he's back in training.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember having watched the training videos if he's doing saves and ball catches and doing all the drills that a goalkeeper would do, or if he's just doing general training. I'd have to check. I would. When he had surgery, when did he have surgery? May. End of May. What are we now? End of July. 8 weeks.
It's a long time for finger surgery. It is a long time.
Yeah, but you want to make sure it's healed 100%. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know if he's ready. We'll see. But again, the Seller Cup's pretty close. It's only round the corner, so he's not got that much time.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have committed to the surgery, and if they didn't think it was going to.
Oh, absolutely.
It was going to delay it too much. So
yeah.
I think he'll get a half. I think he'll get at least a half.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. He's there, he's training, so we should see him at some point. Boot Boys, thank you for your £10 super chat. This is great chat as ever, troops. Thanks for all the work everyone puts into the show. Thank you very much, matey. Pope was in goal in training, looked good, said Mats. Okay. Toon Gamer says Pope is doing normal training now as well, so there you go. He should feature at some point. But as usual, guys, let's have a little daft prediction of the score. I can't even remember what we said for the scores against. I think one of you said 4-3.
I said 4-3.
Yeah.
I fully expected us to win that.
You said what, Billy?
I didn't give one.
Although I think I said 2-0 before the game, by the way.
Right, so let's just have a laugh again. I mean, we don't even know what possible lineups will be. So, Billy, what do you reckon?
Well, I always say Newcastle win, so I'll say that again. I'm going to say Newcastle 3, Chelsea 1.
Interesting. Alex?
I agree. I think it's going to be close to that sort of scoreline. I'm going to go with 3-2. I think it's going to be crazy.
Well, I'm going 4-2. I think there'll be goals. I just hope we start better. Simple as that. But there you go, guys. It's a quick 45-minute show tonight just to talk about the match. Bring me the smile of Sandro Tonali is a new member of the channel. So thank you very much. Bring me. I'll just cut that short. But thank you very much for your membership and welcome to the Toon Review family. Thank you, everybody that's joined in. Over 1,100 watching. Incredible. Thank you so much. We are going to go and get some food, get some sleep, and we are going to be back at 1 a.m. I'm not sure who the moderators will be. Tom is definitely going to be here. Rachel, from what I gather, is going to try and be here. Rachel, just have a little nap now. I know, you've got other things.
She'll wake up and then post in the group 10 minutes after kickoff. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, try and get a couple hours sleep now and join us at 1 a.m. So that's it for tonight. We'll be back at 1 a.m. Set your alarms. Don't miss it. It's going to be a cracker of a game. And hopefully you'll enjoy the watch along as well because we intend to make it fun as well. Good commentary and good analysis of the game. So we'll enjoy it no matter what time of day or night it is. But thank you for all your super chats and new memberships in this show, guys. Welcome to all the new subscribers, of course. And thank you to the mod squad. Brilliant work again. To Alex and Billy, but to you guys out there, you're legends. And we will see. Hang on a minute, Alex. Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention Patreon, of course. There is a couple of new podcasts going up. There was one yesterday went up, or the day before on Jamal Lascelles. There's another one going up on the Champions League. The link is in the description if you want to sign up to the Patreon and get extra content from the Toon Review when you're in your car, you're at the gym, you're walking the dogs, or you're milking the cow, whatever it may be. You can listen to the Toon Review podcasts that we do away from the camera. So thank you very much, everybody. We will see you at 1 a.m. In the meantime, have a nice kip, guys. See you soon.
In a wild crocodile.
Come back and check on to breathe.